Hello, everyone, and welcome to HTGS Reviews. I am your host, Rob Coakley, and before I introduce the other host of the show, we had to pivot this week. We had a movie we were going to cover. We had to make a switch because everybody was watching this movie, and we felt we also needed to watch this movie. Perhaps it was a mistake. We'll talk about it. But as I said, I'm Rob Coakley, joined as always by Dave Wilkins.
As always, indeed. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. And by Jesse Wilkins.
Hello.
And we watched something. We definitely watched something. Before we get into it, as always, Dave, give us a synopsis of this movie that isn't Ice Cube sits in a room, please.
Funny you should ask. War of the Worlds 2025, directed by Rich Lee, starring Wish.com, Sandra Bullock, and the dude from NWA. Aliens invade Earth, and the only victims are the audience. Homeland Security analyst Will Radford springs into action by sitting in front of a laptop for the entire movie like a call center scammer. But instead of the aliens bringing death rays, they steal data, making them the galaxy's most boring villains since Darth Vader's tax accountant. With the help of his gamer son, because hackers equal magic, and his pregnant daughter, because science equals magic, Will launches a counterstrike involving a computer virus, some explosions, and the audience's patience. What follows is a reimagining of H.G. Wells' masterpiece that trades awe and terror for cheap zoom filters, dollar store CGI, and dialogue so lifeless it could haunt a house. By the end, the only real casualties will be the source material, the runtime, and anybody who paid to watch it.
So Dave liked this movie quite a bit.
I will tell you that I saw the reviews that it was getting, and you guys watched it before me and gave me a heads up of the format of this movie. And I was like, I don't even want to watch this anymore. Like, I was excited because of the bad reviews that it was getting. I was like, ooh, nice. We get to review another bad one. But then when you told me what it was, I was like, there's no way that can be good. There's just no way. Like, it's the whole, like, the Zoom call thing that they did, which I thought was going to be lame. Like, that movie Host already kind of did that. But what I will say is that when I did watch the movie, it didn't work, but it wasn't as disjointed and bad and horrible as I thought it was going to be. Granted, the movie was horrible and as bad as I thought it was going to be, but just the Zoom thing element, it didn't seem as bad as I thought it was going to be watching it. And I think that was because it was so hyped up to be the worst thing ever that it was. Granted, there's nothing good about this movie, and I'm not even saying this was good. I am saying that it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Right? There was still nope. I don't know what there was still. I just wasn't.
There are two wolves inside Dave right now, and they are fighting with each other to figure out what the hell. What are you even? How are you arguing both sides of this right now?
I'm saying is that when I was expecting a Zoom call War of the Worlds, I imagined the worst possible thing imaginable, and it was slightly less worse than what I imagined. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't.
It's pretty bad. Before we get into this, because I am gonna shred this movie because it's really bad. The one thing I will give them is that this was filmed during the pandemic. And
what was it?
So it makes sense as to why.
Yeah, hang on. That cannot be an excuse for this movie. This means they shot this movie in 2020, which is why they used the Zoom call thing, which other movies did this at the time. That actually worked for some movies that we saw. They sat on this project, and then 5 years later, they said, now we'll release it. Yeah. Now this movie is ready to be released. If it was released during the pandemic, we'd have been like, well, this is what they had to work with. No, they had 5 years to watch it. They watched it, which was one big Amazon commercial. And they said, now we are ready to release the Amazon commercial. This movie, there is no excuse for them sitting on this project for that long and then now deciding to release it.
That was going to be my next point, is like, why do you even release this at this point? Like, if you got it out in 2021, we get it. 2025, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing with this movie?
It was so dumb. Like, and it started off with just really bad writing, particularly like the dialogue was really bad, really poorly written. Obviously, the movie was poorly written. they took this movie keeps, it's based on a really good book, obviously, like a legendary book. And then I'm pretty sure they made a movie before the Tom Cruise one.
This has been made so many times. Like
Yeah.
it gets repurposed like every 10 years, basically.
Right. So, and then they always like adjust it a little bit. I actually liked the Tom Cruise one from what was it like?
Yeah. I actually watched it immediately after this movie ended. Like it just came out automatically. I was like, thank God. I will now watch this movie and enjoy. It was great. It held up. It was great. The CGI, even despite it being made years ago, like the CGI held up. The CGI was better in the Tom Cruise movie by leaps and bounds than it was in this movie. Made no sense. Yeah. Why this many years later is the CGI so much worse in this movie than it was back then?
It feels like they basically decided we don't have to spend money on CGI since we're doing this Zoom call format, right? We can get away with glitchy cameras because, it's basically all done over the internet. So I think they took advantage of that format that they had to use at the time and really cheaped out on the CGI. And they needed it to not be bad because there wasn't anything else going for this movie.
It wouldn't have the movie's so poorly written. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this movie also it's taking advantage of the technology that it has, as you said, Dave. And the most famous thing done with War of the Worlds was in 1938 with Orson Welles. He did a radio version of this, and they played it on the radio, and people actually thought we were getting invaded by aliens because they didn't preface it with the fact that this was actually, I think they did.
They might
not everybody caught it.
You can't account for people tuning in late. This is
right.
Radio. You can't rewind it.
Right. So there's always been, it's always tried to play to the technology that it has, but it does not work in this one. It does not work on the Zoom calls, especially when you were just like, you know what? I think we're going to one take everything in this movie. We're just going to do the first take that we do on this movie, and that's going to be it.
The acting was atrocious. The writing was far worse. So there's no saving it. Even if you had good actors in this movie, they couldn't have saved it with the absolutely atrocious writing and the incredible holes in the plot. First of all, he works in that office all by himself. There's nobody there. Mm-hmm. Okay. He's snooping on his family, like way overboard. The dude hacked into his daughter's fridge. Like that's where we kicked the movie off. He hacked his daughter's fridge and was like, not enough protein. This is bad. This is bad. So he's overly, he's involving himself way too much into their lives, but just from his computer where he's controlling everything and hacking into every part of their movement. He's tracking them all over the place with the satellites and the GPS and the drones and everything. He's following his kids around. He goes into his son's computer, realizes that he's playing a new game. So he goes and uninstalls the game as if the kid couldn't just click install again. Like it's already a purchased game. The game's not gone for good. So so stupid. Everything about the whole plot line. So then they try to make it sympathetic, like, oh, but his wife is dead. So they give you the dead wife, and then they're trying to make you feel bad for him. Okay, well, he just wants the best for his family. So he's tracking their every move and hacking into their personal information and reading their private messages just so it's okay because he's got a dead wife. It's no excuse. He's an irredeemable character. He's overbearing. He's terrible. His job is very weird. So he's like Homeland Security computer guy, right? And so we have so many errors with the plot already. Number one,
we're gonna spoil this movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spoil it.
Yeah, sorry. We're gonna spoil it. Jesse, I got to cut in because I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on when they have like that one character who's like a cool teenager gamer that is also suddenly like a super hacker? Because you don't see that a lot in movies.
Never.
What are your thoughts on like when they do that?
I think it's never been done before. So this is the first time.
I know you're always a big fan of shit like that.
I love it. Yeah, it's really good for movies. Really saved this movie, I'll tell you that. We were going down a dark path. But there's some glaring deficiencies with this. So basically, the way that they were able to get to Earth was they never saw the comets coming. Because the comets, well, the satellites were supposed to be watching for the comets, but the satellites had been taken out by what?
Asteroids in France.
The comets that they were out there to look for. Well, we never saw it coming because the satellites were taken out by comets.
Oh yeah, it's circular.
We knew it. What do you think? This was there for? Well, we couldn't see him because the comets got him. Okay. All right, cool. But somehow they're still able to operate all of this technology, this extreme GPS technology that would all be coming from the satellites. Am I wrong? Isn't that where the GPS technology comes from? The satellites that have already been taken out?
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's hey, I dropped a cinder block on my foot. Well, how'd you do that? Well, I was distracted because I dropped a cinder block on my foot. That's why I dropped a cinder block on my foot.
A lot of problems with this. And then he's supposed to be, so then like the attack is happening, right? And he's supposed to be this guy who is using all of his satellites and data to brief the president. And the president is, for some reason, waiting for Ice Cube to upload footage that he took from news broadcasts that have already happened. He's just screenshotting shit from the news that has already aired. So the news is doing a much better job than him because he's literally getting all of his information from the news. Just flipping around different news stations, takes a screenshot, uploads it on a nice little spreadsheet for the president. And then the president's like, oh my goodness, great work. Yes, we will fire back. Now we will fight back. Like, what were you waiting for? Every city is under attack. They're here to eat the Facebook or whatever they're doing. You know, like this is how they
Facebook.
There's a lot of deficiencies. I won't go on all of them because I could go on all day about how many massive plot holes were there in this movie. But
the fact that this carries the War of the Worlds name is such a disgrace, and it was so disappointing. I don't know what you'd even call this movie. It's definitely not horror. I guess you could call it sci-fi, but it's so disappointing. Like they took out all the cool parts of the movie. Like they're just going after data. That's what they're doing. Like that's boring. It's so boring. It's like was this an allegory for like a what do you call it? Cyber attack? You know, like is it
kind of? I mean, but they're also like marching around cities and shooting laser beams and stuff. But like they got to get to your data. It's like, dude, they're just wiping everybody out anyways. So like we'll jump around a little bit, but another massive problem was they had hacked all the jets and made them all crash.
Hell yeah.
And then towards the end of the movie, they hack the jets and have them go bomb the, Ice Cube's job, that building. Because their plan was just to create a big pile of rubble on top. Like, but you already crashed the jets. Maybe there were more jets.
Well, I'm sure there's more jets, Jesse. My first note, the very first thing I wrote is, holy shit, this is bad. Was my first note on this movie. So the thing that got me laughing the most, though, well, a lot of stuff had me laughing in this movie, but the next point that I wrote, I don't know if you guys caught this, but they used the same military stock footage twice in under a minute.
Yep, I noticed that. Like we just saw this.
Same exact scene, same exact people, and then I was dying that they had to blur out all the faces as well in the shots that they were using. I'm like, man, this is just, they couldn't even film these things, so now it looks even worse because they're blurring out all this stock footage stuff that they can't actually use in this movie. It's just I don't know why you released this in 2025.
It's so bad. It was so poorly paced, and I feel like a broken record because the last three movies, first of all, the last three movies were all really poorly paced. The last three movies we reviewed, ironically, were also made by 90s rappers, all of them. So that's right. A consistency. Maybe we stopped doing that. But this one was really poorly paced, and it was really one of the more disappointing parts of it because it's just all of a sudden it's immediate chaos, right? You have a really sloppy setup and then just straight to chaos. What I liked about the Tom Cruise one was that it was paced really well. Like you start off with a story, you're introduced with the characters, you meet the characters are well acted, the characters are well written, and then this thing shows up and they're like, what the hell is that? And it's kind of like curiosity at first, like obviously ominous looming curiosity, and it's like a slow build but not too slow, and it builds tension. And then when shit starts going down, it really is like you hit the ground running, and it was just really well paced.
Yeah. So the reason that it worked in that movie was because they got out of the city, right? So in the Tom Cruise version, they got a vehicle that worked and got out of the city. So you had a moment of like, oh, okay, they got out of the chaos, but then it follows them and it just goes back and forth, which is how you make a good movie. This movie, like, shit started going down. It didn't stop going down the whole time. It was more like an action movie, I guess, but it was just, I guess the only problem with the Tom Cruise version was not enough FaceTime.
Yeah.
Could have used a lot more FaceTime. So the next big issue, and I have a lot of these, and feel free to jump in anytime with more issues. I just have a lot of timeline issues with this. So the whole movie, or before the attack happened, they had been trying to really track down this genius hacker, this guy who was uploading these YouTube videos, and they pinpoint his location, but they just escaped, and they're just, oh, it's another decoy, this kind of stuff. It turns out to be his son the whole time.
I was shocked. Were you guys shocked? I was so
no
shocked.
no way.
I was pure indifference.
But the way that they figured out his son is he finally decided to take the audio recording of his voice and just raise the pitch a little bit. He's like, oh shit, that's my son. And it's like, that wouldn't have been one of the first things that you did when you're like, whose voice is this? Let's raise the pitch. I can do that. Like, this isn't some of the insane technology that he has. Any one of us can raise the pitch on someone's voice and then see if you recognize it. We literally just talked about it on the episode on Tuesday. Like, very easy technology that's been around for a very long time. So you're telling me
you know what other really simple technology exists and is really easy to use and you can't just raise the pitch to figure out who it is voice distorters. They're actually used a lot for things like this, and you wouldn't be able to just raise the pitch. So this genius hacker who hacked into the government didn't think to use a voice distorter, just lowered the pitch of his voice.
Yeah, pretty bad. But he had a YouTube channel. And here's another glaring problem in the movie. If you look at the timeline of the movie, the aliens start eating all the data. The aliens ate Facebook, and his poor wife's voice message gets deleted. And you're like, oh my goodness, they took out social media. But nope, because 24 minutes later, they upload a YouTube video.
Bro.
Another problem. Okay. He's working in this office. He doesn't leave the office pretty much the entire movie. When he finds out that he really needs to go downstairs, guess what happened? They locked his door. And we have yet another really bad movie where this guy is working in a glass office that how else can you get through a locked glass door? Family on the line. Country, world in peril. Ice Cube is stuck in his ice cube. He can't get out. Can't break a window. So dumb. So he backed up. I thought he was going to pick up the chair and throw it through the glass window. Didn't do it. I mean, maybe in a building like that, it would be bulletproof glass and you wouldn't be able to break it. But still, he's got to try. Got to at least try. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say. But I mean, like, who cares at that point? Like, oh, that one thing might not be inconsistent. The rest of the movie is.
Yeah. My next note was, this movie is just stock footage and Ice Cube yelling, "Get out of there."
Yeah. But it was really bad acting because obviously when filming the movie, he doesn't exactly know what he's reacting to. He's just going off what the director's telling him. He's not actually seeing the stuff on his supercomputer.
Right.
The director's like, now you need to react to your daughter in a, bleeding in the back of a Tesla. Now you need to react to this. Now, and it's just, I like some of the stuff Ice Cube's in. I think he's good in the 21 Jump Street movies. I think he's good in a few things. Like, he's good in comedy roles. This ain't it for Ice Cube, man. I mean, this movie is basically a comedy at this point, but come on.
He was great in Friday.
Yeah, comedies. Good in comedies.
He's good in other stuff too. He was A, not the right person for this role, and B, no one was the right person for this role.
Right. This wasn't the right role for anybody because this was not a movie that should have been made.
Yeah.
Another big problem. I guess it wasn't that big of a problem, but just the no thumb drives allowed in the office. It's like, this is Homeland Security. We don't bring in thumb drives. It's like, dude,
you have to.
All right, fine, but don't worry about it. Amazon delivery drivers got you covered. Another plug for Amazon. So they've eaten Facebook, but they haven't eaten Amazon. Of course not. Amazon, you can't just eat Amazon. It's not going to happen during an alien invasion.
Servers.
Yes,
Jesse.
Absolutely.
And as someone who has worked in a server place, I know that Amazon has the most secure servers, because if they come into your data center, you have to change your entire protocol for what Amazon wants to do.
So the whole movie makes sense then. I guess we're good. So of course he orders a thumb drive off Amazon because this is a movie that's just meant to plug Amazon. So he goes on and actually physically orders, as if Amazon is fulfilling orders at this time.
They are.
Orders his thumb drive. And so, of course, his future son-in-law is now going to deliver it via drone, but the drone crashes. Now, I saw.
Hold on. This is another point of problem here because he's Homeland Security. He knows about everything. He knows where everything in the world is. He doesn't know what Prime Air is. He doesn't know that Amazon has drones that they're sending out. This is a shock to this man that can hack into anything with cameras that he does not know Amazon's doing.
Spending a lot of time in his daughter's fridge. Maybe he missed that briefing. Anyways, so I saw this as a complaint online, and I must have missed this scene in the movie. But when the drone crashed and flipped over in the street, is it true that they bribed a homeless man with $1,000 Amazon gift card to flip it back over? Oh no, I was really hoping that was made up.
They did. They're like, quick, send him $1,000. Here's some Amazon gift cards.
Dude, they really could have used that money for CGI.
Again, this is not a comedy. This is supposed to be a moment in the movie. And anyways, he's like just flies the drone through Homeland Security's office. Yeah. Man. Yep.
And he's even yells one time, I'm flying blind here.
It's just such a poorly written movie. And it's just like the shameless plugs throughout the movie is just ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Ice Cube's reaction to his son's death when he thinks that his son dies is
no.
Yeah. He just stares at the camera for a bit and just like, dude, what is this direction?
Also, it's like his daughter's bleeding out, and I get it, you got to send help. But he's like, don't worry. What was his son-in-law's name in the movie? I don't remember his name.
Oh my God. His son, Amazon, I think.
His name was Prime, I think. Yeah. This is one of those movies I didn't even pull up the IMDb for because I don't even feel the need to talk about the actors, but we will. Oh God. What do you think the IMDb rating is? I saw Rotten Tomatoes had it a solid 0, but it's IMDb's got it at 2.7.
I was going to say 2.6.
Yeah. Mark will be there soon. But like, so his daughter's actively bleeding out and he's reassuring. He's like, don't worry, Mark will be there soon. Like he's an Amazon Prime delivery truck driver. Like he's not going to be able to administer her when she got an entire shard of metal through the leg or whatever. But it's better to not have anyone with you. But yikes.
That's how powerful Amazon is, Jesse. Also, Amazon, we love you. If you ever want to sponsor the show, feel free. We'll
order flash drives in real time on the show.
And we'll change our scores for this movie as well.
I think that, to be fair, I think this movie is as popular is not the right word, but is probably the only reason making any money is because of all the bad reviews.
Oh, of course.
Right. It's supposed to be like, people are treating it like a Sharknado, but the problem is like this movie wasn't fun. Sharknado was fun.
Yeah.
Right. Sharknado was self-aware.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's the big difference. I just, unless somebody was like, unless they were I don't know if they were releasing this just hoping to put it out there and just thinking that nothing was going to happen with it once it was released, or if someone was like, this movie's so bad, it will bring a ton of attention. I mean, it works, right? Like for that aspect, look how much attention it's brought to Amazon just by releasing this movie, way more than it would have in 2021 if you released it then. So maybe it's slightly genius to release it. If I'm the director, if I'm the actors, I'm
ashamed of this project.
I am pissed that this got released in 2020.
Eva Longoria was in it. Ice Cube. Like, you guys are better than this.
Was that Eva Longoria?
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know if she's better than this.
Anyone is better than this. Yeah, this was a movie for like B-list actors, and it didn't help anyone. It was really bad.
But to that point, it has a lot of like people like, oh, I know that person. Like the main bad guy is Agent Coulson from the Marvel movies. it's just like I knew a lot of the actors from stuff, and
I just love that Ice Cube took like his high horse when like they found out that the Goliath project was real or whatever. He was like, "You're invading on people's personal information." It's like, that's what you've been doing the whole movie.
You were just watching someone from a fridge.
I think that was intentional, though.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, that was part of the plot point, but yeah, it was, man, I don't know, man. It was bad. Was it fun to watch? Was this fun to watch?
I didn't have fun watching it.
It
No.
wasn't. It was a movie with like a 90-minute runtime, which you look at, you're like, all right, at least it's only 90 minutes and it's going to drag. It's going to drag more than any 90 minutes you've ever watched.
I think that pacing is the problem. So if you have a really bad movie that's so bad it's funny, that's fun if it's paced well, right? The pacing can kill a movie, even if it's like, if everything else is good, if it's paced poorly, it's like, it's just not enjoyable to watch. Either it drags too long and that's not fun, or the plot is just so rushed where they're throwing so much shit at you. It's like, dude, I don't care. Right? Like, I don't care about any of this. And that's what this one was for me. Like, I don't care about these characters. And I was already pissed off because I like the War of the Worlds story. And it absolutely just took a massive dump on it. So I was annoyed and it was poorly paced. So I did not have a good time watching this.
No, it was terrible.
Yeah. I think that the only way to do a movie with like a Zoom call setting is it has to be like a legitimate horror movie. Because like Unfriended was fine, and that was before the pandemic, right? Like that came out before we had that. And then what was the other one you mentioned? It was Host that I think we watched and reviewed as well, which as I recall, wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna say it was like the greatest movie. I thought it was fine.
Jesse, you ripped that movie.
Wait, am I thinking of the same one? Is the one where like they did like the Ouija board thing and then
Zoom call? Rob and I liked it, and you fucking ripped that movie. That's what. So I was like,
okay. I just remember watching it and I hated that movie, dude. Yeah.
That one was fun because I thought it was the jump scares were really good and the suspense was top notch. So it was. I mean, it wasn't a cinematic masterpiece because how could it be? But it was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
this one not so much.
What else can you do than something like that? Like they tried to do this TV show, like a comedy. That was
yeah.
I think it lasted
was good.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I think it lasted like 2 episodes because you're also just reminding people, right? That's the other problem is like you're just reminding people of when they were stuck in their house for a year. So
you're just so limited on what you can do if you're just in front of it. Like there were so many scenes in that movie where it's like nobody would be worried about FaceTiming someone at this exact moment. They would be running for their lives, but they're running for their lives with the FaceTime on their face. Like it's just like it's so impractical. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. So this was funny for me. His daughter's in a car. His daughter's in a car bleeding out. His son's trying to get to her. The son-in-law is trying to get to her. And the world's ending. Homeland Security, all of his bosses are trying to get a hold of him. And he sits there. He starts typing an email to his daughter. Parenting is hard. Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Is now the time?
An entire movie of him doing things in the wrong order. Like his priorities were not straight at any moment. He's just typing out a heartfelt email. Like when the whole, it's like, at what point does the internet stop working? Like that would have been like, I don't know. They're attacking they're blowing up all these things that should have cut they're attacking power grids and destroying satellites and destroying this and destroying that and destroying all of the things that would have entered internet 4 minutes into this movie. But he's still able to FaceTime everybody and type out heartfult emails.
And there was one point where they made it a point where all like the little red dots appear on the map and they're like military offline. Like, but you're still online.
Homeland Security.
You can still FaceTime. Amazon's doing fine.
You can still
upload a YouTube video.
Yeah. And then you get like the worst fake out death at the end with him and just so cliche and bad and everything's just not good in this movie.
But of course, still FaceTiming,
Yeah, still FaceTiming.
Yeah.
So that's the movie. It's terrible.
I liked it.
The aliens didn't make any sense just because that means that someone would have had to build them, I would assume. Like, because they're mechanical and they require data. So that doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense in this movie. So let's give it a score.
I get it at a half a star, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
probably-
a point. I'll give it a 0.5 as well, because like, what else do you do with this movie?
I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 0. It is not worth.
I think that's
it's
the other
not
thing
worth,
you do.
Yeah, it's not worth anyone's time to watch this movie. It's not enjoyable enough, like a Sharknado, to where you can make fun of it just for being bad. If you want to watch the worst movie ever, I don't know if you enjoy this kind of thing, but it's not even one of those enjoyable bad movies. It's just a waste of time.
Did you even give Skinamarink a 0?
No, but I will now. Retroactively get it a 0. That was really bad too.
Well, those are our scores for 2025 War of the Worlds, I guess we'll call it, since that's the year it came out. What was your score? Was it higher than our scores? If so, how dare you? Anyways, let us know in the comments what you thought of this movie if you did watch it. If you didn't, I'm going to say don't. For myself, for Jesse, for Dave, who's dying. We will catch you later.
He's actively dying. He just takes a shot at tequila to clear things up. It's amazing. Anyways, that's it for this HTGS review.
I do feel better.
Bye.